Welcome to lesson 1.7, dividing mixed numbers in fractions. Well, this one here is on page 63, where we're just going to be dividing mixed numbers. Well, the very first thing you do, as we learned yesterday, is you can't divide a mixed number by anything. You have to do bottom up, and I don't know what else to call it. It's just changing the mixed number into an improper fraction. And remember, we talked about the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator pieces. So that's how they're getting the 9, because they're doing 4 times 2 plus 1. And that's how they're getting the 9. The denominator stays the same. Once you are in AB form divided by AB form, or improper fraction form or fraction form, you're going to go ahead and do your keep, change, flip. And that's what they're doing right here, multiplying by the reciprocal. So that's where the keep, change, flip comes in. And then the first fraction stays the same. You change from division to multiplication, and then you flip the reciprocal, where the numerator now becomes the denominator now becomes the numerator. Then you look for cross reduction. Now, the book doesn't always look for cross reduction, which I'm kind of disappointed in, but in this case, there is no cross reduction, so they're just multiplying across the top for the numerators and across the bottom for the denominators. And that's how they got 27 pieces of 8 pieces. And then we have to simplify that, because we can't leave an improper fraction as an answer. So they took out 3 sets of the denominator. So it's 3 times 8 right there. And it uses up 24 pieces of the 27 pieces. And that is why they have 3 8s as a remainder part of the mixed number, because there was 27 minus 24. There was 3 pieces left over. So that explains the top part of the page of 63. Let's go to the bottom part. So now we're going to be dividing mixed numbers by a whole number. And the same exact process is going to take place. I need to rewrite my mixed number as an improper fraction. So that's going to be the denominator times the whole number plus my numerator pieces all over top of the denominator. And I believe 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 would give me 10. My denominator stays the same. And then my whole number has to be placed under, I have to place a 1 under my whole number, making it 6 over 1. And there's improper fraction divided by another AB form, which is whole number over 1. Okay, now I'm going to do the keep, change, flip. I keep my first fraction, change. I should write that down. Keep, change, flip. And I keep my first fraction, change from division to multiplication. And then I'm going to flip my divisor. Instead of it being 6 over 1, it's now going to become 1 over 6. This is where the book doesn't simplify, and I'm really disappointed in that. I'm going to look for a greatest common factor between a numerator and a denominator. They can be cross reduction or the fraction itself sometimes, as we've run into in the classroom exercises. So 10 and 6, they share the greatest common factor of 2. And so I'm going to go ahead and reduce that. 10 divided by 2 makes this now a 5. 6 divided by 2 makes this now a 3. So instead of 10 times 1, it's now 5 times 1. Instead of 3 times 6, like they have, now it's 3 times, this is, yeah. There we go. Okay, so 5 times 1 would be the 5 right here. And 3 times 3 is going to be the 9 right there. And this step right here, you can just go ahead and skip, because it takes you right to the simplest form. So to answer your question, 3 1/3 divided by 6 is 5/9. Okay, on to page 64. You do have a check up here where it's 2.5 divided by 3, and we're going to write it in simplest form. So I need to change this. Denominator times whole number plus numerator 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5/2 divided by 3/1. Now keep change flip. 5/2 times 1/3. There is no cross reduction anywhere. So this is 5 times 1 and 2 times 3. And that's your final answer. Okay. Now we're getting into the dividing mixed number by mixed number. You have to do bottom up and convert that for both the dividend and the divisor. So 4 2/3 is going to be 3 times 4 plus 2. And of course, my denominator stays the same. So 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2. That would be 14. And then for this mixed number, it's going to be 4 times 1 plus 3. And the denominator stays the same. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3. It's going to be 7. This is where we get into keep, change, flip. And we keep the first fraction, change from division to multiplication, and then I'm going to flip my divisor to be the reciprocal, 4/7. Again, this is where they do not do cross reduction. I am very disappointed in this book. And look at this number they get, 56/21. Do you really want that? I don't want that. So I'm going to look to see for cross reduction, and the 14 and 7, they have the greatest common factor of 7. And when I divide this by 7, it turns it to a 1. Divide this by 7, it turns it by a 2. So really what I'm looking at is 2 times 4 over 3 times 1. And that is going to give me the 8/3 that you end up right here with. Okay. And then if you have 8 pieces and it takes 3 pieces to make a whole, I can get out 2 of those. So 2 times 3 is going to be that 6. And then 8 minus 6 gives me 2 pieces left over. So I'm able to make 2 wholes with 2 pieces left over when it takes 3 pieces to make a whole. So 4 2/3 divided by 1 3/4 ends up being 2 2/3. The check is 2 3/8 divided by 1 1/4. Once again, I've got to change both of those into an improper fraction. So that's going to be 8 times 2 plus 3 for this one over 8. And that one is going to be 4 times 1 plus 1 over 4. I guess I should do this. There we go. 8 times 2, 16 plus 3. So that's going to be 19 over 8. And then 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 4. This is where we do keep, change, flip. Be 19 over 8 times 4 over 5. And I'm going to do some cross reduction. I'm going to divide both of these by 4 and make them smaller. 4 divided by 4 makes this a 1. 8 divided by 4 makes this a 2. So here's my new problem. You can already see it's easier. I don't want to multiply 19 times 4. 19 times 1 is much better. And 2 times 5 is 10. And to simplify this, if I have 19 pieces when it takes 10 to make a whole, what's going to happen is I have enough to build one whole with 9 pieces left over when it takes 10 pieces to make a whole. Because if I pull out one set of 10, that would be a minus 10 here. 19 minus 10 gives me my remaining pieces of 9 over 10. Well, that's it for pages 63 and 64. Thank you for watching.